Welcome to the Astros pregame presented by Toyota. Got baseball coming up from Wrigley Field in Chicago. The third of 4 straight day games for the Houston Astros. The Astros looking to make it back-to-back wins, take the first 2 of this 3-game series after getting a victory yesterday over the Chicago Cubs. First pitch up in about 40 minutes here on SCHN. Let's take a look at what we could be talking about here over the next half hour. On the way to first pitch here on the Astros pregame presented by Toyota. Here's what's on tap. Kai Tang gets the ball today for the Astros. He'll be making his 4th start of the season. Speaking of 4s, 4th home run of the year for Christian Vasquez yesterday. He drove in a couple of runs for the Astros, and Julia will cover all the bases. That's all coming up here on the Astros pregame presented by Toyota. Alongside Brian Bogusevic, I'm Kevin Eschenfelder. Welcome into our SCHN studios as the Astros and the Cubs go at it here today. Astros with their first win at Wrigley Field since 2013. Yesterday was the first win since Chris Carter, J.D. Martinez, and Carlos Corcoran were batting.
I know a lot of those guys.
3, 4, and 5 in that lineup, and Bud Norris was the starting pitcher.
Yeah, we used to go there all the time, and to say that it's been, that long since they got a win in Wrigley, would have thought it would have been a huge losing streak, but it's only a handful of games. It's one of the most fun venues that you can go into and play. As soon as you walk into Wrigley Field, you feel energized. It feels like you go back in time a little bit. So a very enjoyable weekend to go out there, but the Astros also have a lot of business to take care of.
Absolutely. The Astros only been there a couple of times since going to the American League. As for today, let's get to our starting pitching comparison brought to you by our Steel Pitch by Pitch as Kai Tang makes his 4th start. Colin Ray, the 35-year-old, he will be on the mound for the Chicago Cubs. This is a guy that's kind of bounced back and forth between the rotation, or at least as a starter and a reliever.
And he's been a different guy at home and on the road. The home ERA around 2.5, the road ERA up above 6. And he's a ground ball pitcher. He's a pitch-to-contact pitcher. The fastball is more extension and movement than it is velocity. He's only 93, 94 miles an hour. But his 2 best pitches, it's the slider, it's the split at the bottom of the zone, either getting swing and miss over the top of it or pounding it into that thick grass at Wrigley Field.
Yeah, hasn't gotten through the 5th inning in his last 2 starts. Let's get to our Steve Lee stat leaders. Kai Tang, last time out against the Texas Rangers, they talked about getting him deeper and deeper into games, stretching him out, and 5 solid shutout innings, allowing just 2 hits against the Rangers.
If you go back 2 starts and you go back to that first start against Cincinnati, he looked very much like a relief pitcher making a spot start. It was a 2-pitch combo on his glove side, and that was pretty much it. And he ran his course, and once he started to have fatigue set in, that was pretty much it for Kai Tang. Against the Rangers in that last outing, he looked much more like a starting pitcher. The repertoire was deeper. He used the curveball and the changeup as change of speeds. He pitched on both sides of the plate, kept those right-handed hitters honest. And as fatigue started to set in, around 65 pitches, you could see him kind of get his second wind, regroup, and he was able to push through and finish off 5 innings. It was really good stuff from Tang.
And having that that balance as far as being in the rotation, knowing what's coming up and knowing that you're going to be throwing every 5th day, I would think that would be a little bit easier to settle in maybe for Kai Tang, because the ERA is over 4 as a starter. It's obviously under 2 as a reliever. He's been much better as a reliever, but it seems like maybe getting that start last time out can help his confidence and get into that rotation a little bit.
It's not easy to bounce around just because things get thrown into flux and your routines get thrown off, but at the same time, you want to feel like you're prepared for every start, and to have regular turns through the rotation now a couple of times, it helps the preparation, it helps the game planning, and it helps him to go out there confident in the work that he's done in between starts to go out there and execute.
Hoping that it's going to help, too, that the majority of the lineup today for the Cubs, which we'll set a little bit later on, is hitting from that right side. He's been really tough on righties. All right, hang in. Astros going for their 22nd win of the season coming up from Wrigley Field in Chicago. We'll cover all the bases coming up next.
Here.
Astros pregame on SCHN is brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places. By TxDOT, buckle up day and night in every seat. Click it or ticket. And by Big City Wings, sports, beer, and great food. Houston's wing joint is Big City Wings. Astros with a 4-2 win yesterday. Man, the Cubs have fallen on some hard times here as of late. Got off to a great start. But now they have lost 6 in a row. The Astros would love to keep that going before they get out of town. Time now for our Jack in the Box dugout report. We'll cover all the bases. Anthony Iapoce, the Astros assistant hitting coach, visiting with Julia Morales.
We are covering all the bases with Anthony
Iapoce.
That's okay. That's how you really say it. We've all been saying it incorrectly.
No, we go with Iapoce here in the United States. But when I used to rove and fly to Latin America, they would always say Iapoce, which is how you would say it in Italian.
Okay. But your Posey.
Yeah, just Post. Coach Post.
It's on a T-shirt. See it around. Let me tell you. Hey, we're catching up. We're talking hitting, but you also have your little kid here, so I do want to ask you about that too. We're at Wrigley Field. That's got to be cool. How old is he, and what a joy that is to have him around these guys.
Right. We have 3 kids, Lily, Abby, and Anthony. We're actually 2021. We did an Easter egg hunt out here on the grass, so he remembers a little bit. The older girls remember, but having him here with the boys and kind of seeing what dad does is we've been wanting to do this for a while, and he's old enough now where he can come and take care of himself and hang out with the guys and pick up balls, hit balls, run up field. And one of the cooler things was Nico Horner coming out and saying hi to him and saying, what type of haircut you wearing now? Because he used to rock the faux hawk when he was like 3 years old. So that was kind of nice.
Very, very cool. So you've coached on the home side. You're here coaching against them. What is it about this place? Why do people get so worked up here?
The environment and the stadium is similar to Fenway Park, but Wrigley is just, it's so spotless, and watching the ivy grow throughout the year. The day games are sold out constantly, and the fans are pretty much pro-positive. And it's just the organ is fantastic, and they've done such a good job kind of updating it, but still keeping the Wrigley Field, and the outside is tremendous. We used to live a couple blocks away, so we spent a lot of time here.
Yeah, I know some of the guys get excited. A lot of guys first time playing here as well on this club. Let's talk about this club, what you're seeing, because we saw such great numbers in April. May hasn't been as loud offensively, but what are you noticing? What are you guys working on?
I think yesterday was a great example of what the younger guys coming up were trying to work on, which our older guys do so well, is prolonging at bats, being able to compete with 2 strikes, putting the ball in play. And yesterday we were able to scratch out 4 runs, which was a lot for the wind blowing in here yesterday, putting multiple guys on base, taking our walk. So the hitting group spoke to the group the other day about just taking what the pitcher is giving you and not trying to do too much. You have some guys right now that sometimes they're trying to show that they belong, and how you belong is just helping the team win. So we're trying to keep that message going with our guys who are interchanging right now in different parts of the lineup. So we don't like to compare what we did earlier or what we are doing now. You just try to do what we're going to do today against the pitcher, because it's a different lineup. You never know. It's different guys defending. It's different pitches. So it's hard to compare months. We're just trying to take that day, win that day, and move on to the next one.
I totally get it. Consistency, when you talk about that, there's Jordan Alvarez. Who's in your lineup. I mean, you talk about interchanging, but that guy's been in there and he's been performing. I know Christian Walker's another guy we can talk about when it comes to that stuff. How important is it having those guys amongst all those younger guys and all the things that you just talked about?
It's a big deal, and it's not only, Christian's one of our vocal guys in the clubhouse, what he's been through and how he managed his career and showing up and posting up today. Jordan is more of like, watch what I do as far as his work in the cage, his confidence in being calm throughout the day. And a lot of people go, yeah, if I had that swing, I'd be calm all day too. But he has the swing because he is calm, and he's never in a rush. So I think players watch him practice and watch him work and not panic in their practice, where sometimes you get young guys and they're trying to fix everything in one day. But it takes a long time to have a good season. And I think Christian and Jordan and even Jeremy and Jose help out. Jose being here for the support and showing guys to help them get through it, because it's not about trying to fix your swing or your approach in one day. It's a lot of at bats. So you're going to see over 3,000 pitches it's just trying to win each pitch every day throughout the course of the year.
Putting it into perspective. Thank you so much for the time. I know you're having a good time with your son. I'll let you get back to it. Plus, you have work to do in there, so thank you.
Appreciate you.
I've asked you this before, but from hitting coaches, I know everybody's got to be different. Everybody has a different philosophy. Is it more mechanical, or is it more of an approach mentality of, okay, this is the count, this is what you should be looking for in a situation like this?
It's all of the above, and a lot of the work that hitters do in the cage and before the game is mechanical stuff, trying to feel right, trying to get the swing right, trying to have a swing that you're comfortable going into the game with. But then there's the gaming and the preparation and the meetings that you have, and that's more of approach and knowing what pitchers are going to do and how to kind of turn the tables in your favor. And when you have multiple voices in the hitting room and you have the kind of the three-headed monster that the Astros have on their hitting coaches, you can hear things different ways, and for some guys different things make sense, so you can kind of attack it from all angles.
All right, hang in. Come back, a guy that's been hitting very, very well, Christian Vasquez. We'll show you what he was up to yesterday, because he had a couple of huge at-bats in that win over the Cubs.
HN is brought to you by Houston Methodist, the official healthcare provider of the Houston Astros. Houston Methodist, leading medicine. By Dr. Michael Kaplan and his team at Kaplan Sinus Relief. Call today for life-changing sinus relief. And by Daly & Black. Has your home or business been denied, delayed, or underpaid by your insurance company? Call Daly & Black for your free consultation.
Wind was blowing in and hard yesterday. That can be, everybody thinks about Wrigley Field, the warm part of the year. Today's about a 60-degree day. It can be just as, well, pitcher-friendly as it can be hitter-friendly, right?
It'll knock down fly balls. The grass is thick early in the season, and it can be just as difficult to hit there as it can be advantageous to hit there in the summer.
Half hour away from first pitch. A little later start times at Wrigley Field is Chicago and Houston going at it in just a little while. Pick the Six, presented by Gallery Furniture. I know we've had a lot of requests for this, so we wanted to bring everybody up to date.
Everybody's wondering, yeah.
Standings. It's all they talk about these days. Here's the standings right now. Julia's winning. She's a mere 2 wins ahead of us. Forget about the points, because that doesn't matter. It's all about the wins, because we're closer in the wins than we are.
Yeah, the point total doesn't matter unless we catch up. And there haven't been the big point total days. We saw some of them early in the season, but the offense has slowed, which means our point totals have slowed. So we're going to go with wins and losses right now.
All right, so Julia's leading right now by 2 wins. So that brings us to today. What we're going to do here today, we had the first pick today. We're going with the former Cub, Isaac Paredes. We want him to come up big. Didn't have a good time there in a Chicago Cubs uniform, but we like him here today. Jordan is the pick of the guys in the booth, and Cam Smith, the former Cub draft pick, is the pick of Julia.
The matchup of Isaac Paredes against Cub starter Colin Ray. Ray is a strike thrower. He's a guy who lives down at the bottom. So it's about pitch selection in the zone, getting yourself something up, getting yourself something to hit. That's what Isaac Paredes does well.
All right, Taqueria Serranda's delivery of the game, and let's deliver that lineup for you today as Joe Espada fills out his lineup card like this, with Jeremy Pena in the leadoff spot, followed by Isaac Paredes. Jordan bats third. He'll be the designated hitter. The first baseman, Christian Walker. Braden Shoemake up in the lineup to the 5 hole. He'll be at second base. Cam Smith hits 6th. He's in right, followed by Zach Cole, Bryce Matthews, and Cesar Salazar getting a start behind the plate.
It's about as left-handed a lineup as the Astros have been able to run out there all throughout the course of the season. And one of the righties, though, who's showing a little bit of signs of life, Cam Smith. He had 2 hits in the last game in Minnesota. Yesterday, another base hit, and had a fly out that he hit really hard into the teeth of the wind. So some good signs for Cam, who's been going through some struggles.
You know the story all too well. Yainer Diaz on the injured list, and whenever you've got a guy on the injured list like that, you think, who can step in? Well, Christian Vasquez has really been doing that all season long. You think about it, when spring training started, this guy didn't have a job. Astros gave him a job, and they have needed him. He's coming up big.
And seemingly one of the reasons why the Astros brought him in was because if you got into a situation because of injury or otherwise where you needed the backup catcher to play a little bit more than the typical backup catcher role, they were comfortable with Christian Vasquez. And he's been everything and more that the Astros have needed. And we kind of got the full Vasquez experience yesterday, kind of picking and choosing his spots and hitting to the situation. The home run that he hit was on a 2-strike pitch, hanging slider up at the top of the zone, got a little bit big on it and hit it out into the wind. But then the base hit, the RBI single, fastball way above the zone that he hits the other way. He's just so smart, plays the situations well, and he's been a great addition.
4 home runs, 16 runs batted. And I thought the one that really kind of flew under the radar, because we know all too well how important 2-out hitting is. And that was a situation where they had 2 runners in scoring position, and he comes up with a big 2-out single to really kind of to give them a little bit of insurance that they needed.
And they were so good at 2-out run scoring early on in the season. It's something that's kind of dried up as the offense has stalled. Those are huge swings in the course of the game, not just, of course, to add on runs, but those are big momentum shifts, and they kind of change the course of a game and how opposing teams handle their pitching staff.
All right, Astros Cubs. First pitch on the way here on SCHN. Back with more here on the pregame show presented by Toyota in just a moment.
Furniture same-day free delivery is not a problem, it's a promise. Buy $1,000 better with furniture during Gallery Furniture Memorial Super Sale.
And is brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places. By Steve Lee. Car or truck accident? Call attorney Steve Lee at 713-CALL-LEE. And by Steel. Find your Steel dealer at steelusa.com.
Yeah, it is a Cubs team that has struggled here as of late, but they like to get that leadoff man on. In fact, highest on-base percentage to lead off an inning in all of baseball is the Chicago Cubs. Now, yesterday, the Astros beat them at their own game. Astros led off 5 innings, not just with getting the man on, but with hits in yesterday's game.
You put those runners on early in the inning, it puts pressure on the defense, it puts pressure on opposing pitchers, it creates a lot of high leverage pitch situations, and those things take their toll on a pitcher, and you'll get to them eventually, but as it always does, it comes down to hitting with runners in scoring position. You can put all the runners on base that you want, you got to knock them in.
You saw that yesterday for sure. You take a look at this lineup. Think about yesterday. Leadoff man reached base twice. 5 walks, 3 hit by pitches. None of them scored. The only time they scored was on Pete Crow Armstrong's 2-run home run. They left multiple runners on base 4 times. They left the bases loaded twice. And in the 3rd inning, they had the bases loaded and nobody out and did not score.
Well, the Cubs have the lowest batting average with runners in scoring position in the National League, but it's good that you can win a game that way for the Astros yesterday, but you certainly don't want to live that way. That's not something that's necessarily going to be repeatable, but PCA goes from the 8-hole up to the leadoff spot after that big home run yesterday.
Yeah, but okay, you can see they got off to that great start. Started off 27-12. It's been different since then, and losing 10 of their last 12. And it's been just about every facet. They haven't pitched well. They haven't had much offense. And they haven't fielded very well as well. They come into this game 3rd in the National League Central.
It's been very much hot or cold. They've had some crazy win streaks and some really exciting victories. They've had some really rough stretches that one of them they're in the middle of right now. But it's a team that they're going to have to kind of level out and steady their play, because that is a very competitive, very good division. And the Milwaukee Brewers, one of the best teams in baseball, are starting to play well.
Yeah, Bregman with that sub-700 OPS. We've been around him long enough to know that's not going to stay that way all season long, especially when the weather warms up. The Astros, well, playing at Wrigley Field again here today. 2nd most wins by any opponent against the Cubs with that 4-2 win yesterday. Brian King, he had a 4-out save, threw 17 pitches in that game yesterday. And Kai Tang gets the start here today, looking to build on 5 shutout innings last time against the Texas Rangers. Let's get to our Toyota keys to the game.
First thing you do when you walk into Wrigley Field any day, you check the flags. Number one, you want to know, is it going to be a good hitting day or not? But you also have to know, what kind of game are we playing today? If the wind's blowing out, you're just going to play gorilla ball and play for the 3-run homer. But if the wind's blowing in, maybe you're stealing a little bit more. Maybe you're going to execute a little bit more because 1 or 2 runs can be the difference. And the difference for Kai-Wei Tang today is going to be, can he pitch to both sides of the plate? Yes, he wants to get on his glove side with the fastball and the sweeper, but he's got to go to both sides, especially with the fastball. Keep those right-handed hitters honest.
All right, Astros and Chicago Cubs still about 20 minutes away from first pitch, but we're going to turn it over to the guys in Chicago. That would be Todd Callis, Jeff Blum, Julia Morales, and more coming up. It's baseball from Chicago on SCHN.
Here, who's ready for
Astros baseball. Your front row seat to the Astros and Rockets.
A clear, sunny afternoon on the shores of Lake Michigan as the haze has lifted and the Astros are getting ready for baseball against the Chicago Cubs. Astros winning yesterday by the score of 4-2 as they are now 10 games under 500. The Cubs have lost 6 in a row. Hi, everybody, and welcome to Wrigley. Todd Callis alongside Jeff Blum. Glad you could join us for an afternoon of baseball. Blummer, that was a good win to kick off this weekend series.
Yeah, the key is to go out there and win these series and try and fight back into the division. A great start from Spencer Arrighetti, got him that W yesterday.
When you look at the overall standings in the AL West, it's kind of crazy. There's absolutely nobody that's taken charge here in the first third of the season.
And that's kind of what gives you hope if you're the Houston Astros as far as getting back into that division. You start to figure out how many wins do we need to get back to the top of that division lead. But you can see the Athletics, the only team over 500 in that division. You would assume the Mariners have some pretty good pitching to be able to maintain themselves. But I'm kind of curious to see how the Athletics kind of shape out towards the end of the season when their starters start to fatigue a little bit and maybe that offense sputters. But the Astros are looking for an opportunity to jump back in this thing.
Get out and play is driven by Toyota, and since Spencer Arrighetti has joined the rotation, he has been outstanding.
He's been lights out. He's been very good. The Astros were looking for somebody to take the lead in that rotation, and Arrighetti did. Going out there, he had to pitch around some issues with the walks and the hit by pitches, but was able to keep all 5 walks and all 3 hit batters off the plate. But it was some big hitting last night. We talked about Vasquez and how he's been able to go out there and get some big hits to drive in runs. 2 RBIs yesterday, and he was one of the few Astros that actually challenged that win and succeeded by hitting that ball into the left field bleachers. So it was a nice 4-2 win for the Astros.
So the Astros did have to use 4 innings out of their bullpen yesterday, and today they go with a guy who used to be in that bullpen who's now a starter, Kai-Wei Tang.
Yeah, Kai-Wei Tang stretching himself out, doing a very good job. We've been very impressed with how he started the season out of the bullpen for the Astros. He had a great fastball sweeper mix, but since moving into that rotation, he's done a very good job of maintaining that sweeper. He is 2-3 overall, has a brilliant 2.61 ERA, and hitters hitting under 200. Most of the reason is because of that sweeper. Last time out, 11 whiffs in that start against the Texas Rangers, 6 of them on that sweeper.
Kai-Wei Tang on the mound for the Astros. Colin Ray goes for the Cubs today. When we come back, we'll dive deeper into the offseason work that Kai-Wei has done the last 2 years in North Carolina. Julia with Sparky next.
It is a beautiful day for baseball in Chicago. We're getting you set for Game 2. The Astros taking Game 1 yesterday, looking for a series win. With Kai-Wei Tang on the mound, who's making his 4th start now with the Astros, getting comfortable in that role. Taking a peek behind the curtain, though, with Kai-Wei, who, when he was with the Giants, started working out at a place called Tread Athletics, specializing in pitching. This is during the offseason. Here's kind of a day in the life for you. It's our All In All the Time, presented by Daly & Black.
Do you think there's any chance we can get him to throw 82? Are you going to be able to throw a fastball 82 today? Today? Yeah. 92. No? No chance? Okay. I want to go 82, 1 at a time up to 92 is my plan. Okay. But I don't know if you're going to be able to throw 82. We're going to do a 1-mile-an-hour bullpen. Probably start around like 82, 83-ish if possible. Okay. Slowly work up over 10 to 12 to like, I'm looking for like 91, 92 at like 85% RPE. If it feels good if we get there quick, then we might mix in some change-ups. Other than that, like that's kind of the only goal. So if it takes us 15, 20, then we're going to stop. Nice and slow to start. Okay? Yeah. Slow to start.
So just fastball today and some change-up.
In the end? Hey, come look at this angle. I know you like it more to the right than I like it. Good? Slower. Hey. One thing is just don't rush between pitches. We're only throwing fastballs, so you're going to want to go boom, boom, boom. Slow down, take a breath, okay? Good. Too hard? See if you can do it. 86. I'll reason with you. What effort does that feel like? How easy? 50, 60. Okay, you can go to 88 now. Oh, now you throw slower. I think, though, this is the reason why you do stuff like this, because the effort level is roughly the same. There's a 4-mile-an-hour difference. You know what I mean? So we need that awareness. Not bad. I know it's hard. What I'm asking you to do is not easy. Same thing, 89. Very good. Don't rush, okay? Stay smooth. Just climb the ladder a little bit, that's all. Good. Yeah, stay close, just a hair longer. Yeah, a little bit longer. Good. What did you say effort-wise? Is that 80%, 85%, 90%?
The last one?
Yeah.
No, just probably 70, 75.
Okay, I want you to try to find that feeling again, but I want you to go up to 85 instead of 75%, okay? Just put a little bit more behind it. Let it unwind. Okay, good. That was really good. Now I just want you to time that a little bit better. So effort, it's perfect. Just hold, 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 okay? The other thing I'll say is, like, if we're getting here too early, you might just need to think butt, okay? So this will keep you here a little bit longer. Kind of like what we've done in our drill work, right? Just like sit, 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 okay? Good. That was a very clean rep right there. Okay. Okay, want to try 93? Yeah. Last one, no matter what. One and done. Smooth, fluid, fast, baby. Come on. Okay. It was smooth. Done. Very good. Was it hard? Difficult to control your effort level? You did good though.
Some really insightful stuff to watch there. It helped me, for sure, get to know Kai-Wei Tang a little bit better. I'm joined by Steve Sparks with me now, former Major League pitcher, also the radio voice of the Houston Astros, to break some of this down. In that feature itself, you can see how far off seasons have come for Major League pitchers.
Yeah.
And the detail, starting with the velocity and the control of the velocity, all of that. And why is that so important for pitchers in the offseason?
You know, that was the question I had too, and I asked Kai-Wei yesterday, and he said, you know what, I saw people going to tread from the pro ranks, the amateur ranks on YouTube. That's how he first saw, you know, what they were doing there and how people were starting to incrementally start to throw harder and control their bodies a little bit more. And I think that's what intrigued Kai-Wei more than anything else, was how can I throw more strikes? Everybody talks about how good my sweeper is and how hard I throw and how good my stuff is, but it wasn't really translating to the major league level. So I think what he wanted to do more than anything else, Julia, was get a chance to figure out how to control it all. And that's what he's done so far with the Astros. Last 2 years, he's gone to tread. It's right outside of Charlotte, North Carolina. And he said one of the things that they did, and you see the facilities are top notch, but you're going to strengthen the core, you're going to get everything a little bit stronger. But the other thing he told me that I thought was really interesting yesterday was when they would throw a bullpen session, say if it was going to be 45 pitches, halfway through he would get off the mound and pedal a bike for 20 seconds as hard as he could, lose his breath and get back on the mound and throw 5 more pitches, and then do it over and over again for 4 or 5 sets, where he started to learn, what do I do, what do I need to do when I start to get tired, get deeper into the ball game. He learned that I've got to slow my body down. My natural inclination is to kind of get there with my body, but if I slow my body down, my arm can catch up with my body, and that's what he took out of tread more than anything else.
Yeah, it's so fascinating. You know, too, he was out of the bullpen at, you know, to start for the Astros,
Right.
now a part of this starting rotation and doing a good job. What is making him successful? I know you're going to talk sweeper here too, but was it the pitch mix? Was it that pitch that made them believe that he could do this?
Well, somebody with the Texas Rangers last weekend after they faced Kai Tang, and it was kind of a private conversation, said that was the best sweeper they've ever seen. And what makes it so good is it's still real big, like a lot of guys' sweepers, but it's also very fast. It's harder than most guys' sweepers, and to break that much and to be that hard, it's really unique. So if he can start tunneling, watch where this sweeper starts. It starts inside on the righty. If he can start to tunnel that fastball in the same spot, throw it inside to righties, then he's really in business. And that's what he's doing better than he's done in years past. So it's all about tunneling, but it's also just a crazy good weapon with that sweeper. I asked Cesar Salazar yesterday, who's catching Tang today. He said it's the best sweeper he's ever caught.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So much confidence, too, we're seeing from a guy who's still very early in his career and just only 10 career starts so far. Thank you so much, Steve Sparks, always with the great insight and information there. And he's going to have a great call on the radio side. We are going to take a break here from Wrigley Field, where the Astros are getting ready to face the Cubs with Kai Tang on the mound. We'll have more right after this.
Toyota, let's go places. Buy rooms to go. Get fashion, style, and quality all at low prices on every item, every day. And buy Michelob Ultra Zero. Make a plan to get home safe. A reminder from your friends at Silver Eagle Distributors, Houston.
The player to watch is presented by Jack in the Box, and this is a good one. Christmas is here in May, and Alimber Santa is in that bullpen for the Houston Astros, 25 and 26. You see the numbers between AA and AAA. In 89 innings, 106 strikeouts. Yes, 46 walks. He'd love to be able to cut down on that number, but you can see that he has a power arm with power stuff. The power fastball is great, but he also has a wicked slider to work in there. And how about the build of this young man? He has got a lower half of Roger Clemens, which tells you he can be quite durable and use that to speed up that fastball when he needs it. And I think if we have an opportunity today with a couple-run lead, there might be a soft landing for Joe Espada to get Santa into the game.
I think you might be right after yesterday. Enyo De Los Santos got 5 outs. Brian King got 4 outs. It could be a day where Santa arrives here at Wrigley. We're getting ready for baseball. It's the Cubs and the Astros right around the corner. Astros and Cubs getting ready for the middle game of this 3-game weekend series. The wind is blowing in again today. It's a pitcher's afternoon here, but a very comfortable, if not coolish, Saturday afternoon for baseball. See how the Astros will line things up today.
Yeah, thank goodness the sun's out. The Astros starting lineup is presented by Whataburger. Jeremy Pena, Isak Paredes, Yordan Alvarez. The top 3 in the middle, you've got Christian Walker, Braden Shoemake, and Cam Smith. At the bottom, you've got the youngsters, Zach Cole, Bryce Matthews, and then Cesar Salazar getting the start. Bryce Matthews had a big swing in yesterday's game, and he's been swinging the bat well on the road as well. A .288 batting average and an .842 OPS. But in a game where the runs were at a premium, Bryce Matthews did a very good job taking a pitch and going right back up the middle with it for that RBI. Only had a couple of at-bats in yesterday's game, but he has done a very good job of using the big part of the field.
And Joe got aggressive using Matthews as a pinch hitter in the 5th inning, and it paid off with that RBI. Here's the pitcher they will face today, Colin Ray, as he gets the start. You can see his numbers at home much better than on the road. He's got a 6.75 ERA on the road this year, but 2.66 at home. And lately, it's not been very good for Colin Ray. His last 5 starts, 1-2, with a 7.04 earned run average. Second time around as a Chicago Cub, and he delivers a strike to Jeremy Pena, and we're underway.
I can't believe we have to work today.
We had 2.5 days off in Chicago, Blubber.
Woo, it was a good 2.5. I'm happy to be here.
We got here on Wednesday night and now working for the first time since being in Chi-Town on a Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, we kind of went our separate ways the last 2 days, and now we get to sit on each other's lap to call this game.
Jeremy Pena leading things off with a 1-1 count. Swings through that delivery. It's 1-2. You did something yesterday that I have done in the past, and I think it's one thing that we agree upon is one of the best places in the nation to go watch baseball games. You came here as a fan.
I did. I actually requested tickets, got them. I was sitting right behind home plate, had a brilliant view of what was going on, and then eventually took a nice leisurely stroll around the ballpark. This is a beautiful place to watch a baseball game, despite the 55 degrees.
Yesterday was a little cooler than today. The wind is still blowing in today, not helping anybody offensively. There were 2 home runs yesterday, one by Christian Vasquez for the Astros and one by Pete Crow Armstrong for the Cubs. Pena skies one to center. We'll get a look at that wind early on. Who wants it? It's going to be called by Crow Armstrong, who makes the catch. That ball really moving in towards the infield, and Crow Armstrong stayed with it.
StatCast 3D, powered by Google Cloud, is going to give you some numbers and arsenal for Colin Ray. 4-seam fastball split. The splitter's been a very good pitch for him. 18.7% of the time. He'll also have that slider, but there's that split with the batting average against it, 167. He's also got a pretty good ground ball rate this season on his fastball, even though it's a 4-seamer, 55% ground ball rate.
Paredes testing the wind, skies one to deep left. On a normal day, that's to the deepest part of the stadium, and instead it's caught on the warning track. That ball might have been over the bleachers on a normal day, as Paredes will walk back to the dugout dejectedly after that swing.
As if Isak needs another reason to understand why he's happy to be at Dyken Park. Had a season or two here with the Cubs, but this ball was mashed. 103.3 off the bat, but with that wind blowing in here at Wrigley Field, it can absolutely destroy all your hopes and dreams.
Yordan Alvarez takes a pitch off the plate for a ball, 1-0. I don't know if you noticed who greeted Isak on his way back to the dugout. It was Christian Vasquez.
He cut the wind yesterday.
Vasquez saying, hey, I was able to get through it.
Yep.
So I'm a little bit stronger than you. Said that on the post-game interview yesterday on Apple. That he hit his at 98. Isak got his at over 100, but he still hit his out, meaning he's stronger than Isak.
Yeah, and I was sitting in the seats yesterday when Cam Smith got up there and hit one at 106 to maybe right center field, and it didn't get out. So that wind can crush it, but salty veteran Christian had that stinger get into the seats.
Isak on most days would have given the Astros a 1-0 lead. Instead, it's just a fly out to the warning track and left. Now Yordan with a 3-1 count. Yordan has been on base 3 of the 5 times he has faced Ray, a hit and a couple of walks. And he fouls that one back as 3-2. I would think on a day like today or yesterday, it kind of frees up a pitcher to be able to be more aggressive in the zone.
You are absolutely correct. Just dare guys to try and hit it out of here.
He does not get aggressive with that 3-2 pitch and walks Alvarez for the 3rd time in their head-to-head matchups. Yordan will be a 2-out base runner. Well, there you can see Isak Paredes hit one to the warning track, and he lost 14 feet on that fly ball as the wind is situated right now. So that was easily beyond the basket and into the seats. Here's Christian Walker. Walker tied with Yordan Alvarez for the team lead in RBIs. Been a little bit of a struggle lately, just 6 for his last 40 going back to the last homestand. He's going to test the wind to left, all the way back, and looking up, and that line drive leaves. Christian Walker didn't put it in the air like Isak, and he gets it through this wind for a 2-run home run, and the Astros in front.
Oh, now we got some Skywalker in flight. This is the afternoon delight. You're right, though, TK. It's all about the launch angle. It seems like if you're going to try and get one out of here today, you've got to hit that low line drive. That was 105.5 off the bat, but the launch angle just at 19 degrees and it gets out in a hurry. Little slider down that Walk gets the head out on, and just one-hands it into the seats.
Christian now giving a geometry lesson to Isak about angles. Because, yeah, there's no doubt. I haven't looked at who hit one harder, but I'm guessing Isak and Christian were pretty close.
Isak's was at 103.3, and then Christian Walker's at 105.5.
Christian getting it out to left through the wind.
Isak's was at a 40-degree launch angle, so Christian Walker cut that in half.
The Walker now taking over the team lead in RBIs as Braden Shoemake grounds one to the right side. That'll be the final out of the inning, but the Astros in front 2-0 thanks to their first baseman, Christian Walker.
Cubs will line it up. Pete Crow Armstrong goes from 8 to 1st in the lineup. Alex Bregman behind him, then Michael Busch, Nico Horner, Michael Conforto, Seiya Suzuki, Moises Ballesteros, Miguel Amaya, and Dansby Swanson will be hitting 9th. Pete Crow Armstrong accounted for 2 of the runs yesterday with a big 2-run home run.
They're facing the 27-year-old Kai-Wei Tang, who will make his 4th start as an Astro. You can see his numbers on the year. He has been slowly building up, 63, then 76 pitches. You would think he's not able to go 100 pitches today, but maybe in that 90 range, somewhere in there, as he faces the Cubs for the first time in his career. Pete Crow Armstrong leading off for the first time in 2026. And for the 10th time in his career. Craig Counsell said after the game yesterday when the Cubs lost 4-2 that he was going to mix some things up in the lineup today, and boy did he ever. You mentioned Armstrong going from 8 to 1. Suzuki hasn't hit as low as 6 since 2023. Michael Busch hitting 3rd for the first time in his career. Guys in different spots all over the lineup today. And that's really been one of the big struggles for the Cubs during their stretch of losing 10 games out of their last 12, is their offense during those losses has been very dormant, inconsistent. It's a team that was one of the best teams in baseball at home for a while. They've lost 6 in a row, including the last 4 here at Wrigley. That ball hit hard but foul off the net on the right field side.
Yeah, didn't they have a pretty healthy winning streak here at home to start the season?
They were 18-5 after 23 games.
There we go.
But now 18-9 after an 0-4 start to this homestand.
It's nice having my own AI play-by-play guy.
That one's off the plate to Pete Crow Armstrong. And the count's 2-2. Pete has been better this year, lefty on lefty, than he has been against righties. Swing and a miss. Kai-Wei Tang, who had 7 strikeouts in his last start, picks up a strikeout to start today. How about the Astros starting defense? It's presented by Xfinity. 17 on the mound, pitching to 18. Cesar Salazar getting his first start of this road trip. On the infield, Jeremy Pena has started every game on this road trip. Braden Shoemake gets to start at second. And then Zach Cole, Bryce Matthews, and Cam Smith will deal with the wind in the outfield today. Dave Clark saying pregame he makes sure he takes all those guys out there before all the games at Wrigley, everywhere else, especially here at Wrigley, to see what the wind's doing, to make sure they know there's no ball you should ever give up on. If you think that ball is 40 feet over the wall, don't give up on it. Go back to the track just in case. Clark, you would know, he played here a number of years, including 2 years as a Cub. Alex Bregman, the batter. Bregman batting in the 2 spot after hitting 3 in yesterday's game. Was on base the first 3 times with a single, a hit by pitch, and a walk. Pops this one up, and watch what the wind does to this. Christian Walker staying with it. That did not blow as far in towards home plate as we saw some pop-ups yesterday. Walker stayed with it on the mound for the second out.
Yeah, there were 5 guys if you count Tang, that were going to be able to make a play on that, but everybody converging on these fly balls.
Tang evacuated.
Yeah, he saw everybody charging in and said, I'm going to get out of here.
Toughest place here, San Fran.
San Fran, hands down. Candlestick Park was a joke. There it is. The trooper taking control of the situation.
He wanted to do a group hug.
He did. He was into it, boys. Come on in for the real thing.
You never see everybody converge that closely on a pop-up. Michael Busch, as mentioned earlier, hitting third for the first time in his career. He's hit in every other spot in the lineup before today. But now the 3-hitter coming in with a .229 average. He's been good, though, in the last month or so for the Cubs. Highway ahead of the count here, 0-2. Swing and a miss. Kaiwei Tang with that changeup getting the strikeout. Starts and ends the inning with a K in a 1-2-3 first.
Get it against Colin Ray. Highest average versus fastballs this season. Braves are at the top, followed by the Diamondbacks and Astros. Astros at 281 against that fastball. We'll see if Ray sticks to that idea of throwing a lot of fastballs, because there's some hitters in this lineup who can go out there and hunt that fastball.
Cam Smith leading things off. Takes the first pitch, called a ball, and we get our first challenge here on the first pitch of the second inning. Chad Whitson called it a ball. Miguel Amaya with the challenge. ABS powered by T-Mobile is going to show that Amaya is right.
Chicago retains their challenge.
Astros ran out of challenges yesterday and could have used one late in that game, but were out in the middle of the game. It's 0-1 to Cam Smith, who's now down to the count 0-2. Cam, an original Cub. Played one season in the minor leagues with Chicago before the big trade sending Kyle Tucker to the north side. That one's off the plate, 1-2. Cam said he absolutely loves playing here. Yesterday was his first game here at Wrigley, and he said he had a blast.
It can be interesting out there with the bleacher creatures.
His mother's family is from Gary, Indiana, so they grew up as Cubs fans.
Oh, wow.
And
that's awesome.
There's about 25 of them here. So Cam just loves it anyway, but he has all his family in attendance, so he's a little frustrated with that swing as he went after the sweeper. Ray has his first strikeout.
See that last pitch on our UTMD Anderson strike zone, that sweeper breaking down and off that outside edge, getting the chase from Cam Smith.
Cam got Ray with a home run last year. It was on a sweeper, but it was on the plate when he hit one out against him last season in a 10-pitch at bat. Now Zach Cole, the batter. Zach did have an RBI yesterday on a fielder's choice, still looking for his first hit of this road trip. Zach Cole's going to challenge that call by Chad Whitson.
Batter's challenging the strike call.
So 2 challenges here in the second inning. Miguel Amaya 1-1 for the Cubs, and Zach's going to win this one for himself.
Pitch was the ball. Houston retains their challenge.
Good challenge. I feel like in these counts you better be 100% sure, and when the ball's that far off the plate, you're 100% sure.
That went up, and Zach Cole, who does not have a walk on the season, has a 3-0 count here. Braden Shoemake got his first walk yesterday. 3-0 swing by Zach, and he pops it way up in the air. Down the line comes Michael Bush. It's the catcher, Amaya, who stays with it and makes a catch. Every pop-up's going to be an adventure, and Amaya hung in there, never lost his mask as he makes the catch for the second out.
That's pretty impressive by Amaya to stay with that one. Bush came running in, had a long way to go. But what's interesting, he might not even end up in the camera shot because Amaya had to stay with this one. Didn't risk taking off the mask because he had such a good look at it. And actually had to stay with it and goes down after securing it on her mattress from Supermo.
Oh, Bryce Matthews taking a pitch for a ball. Bryce, Zach Cole, Cesar Salazar, and Braden Shoemake all facing Ray for the first time. This one floated to center. Pete Crow Armstrong is there for the catch in the final out. 1-2-3 inning for Colin Ray. Astros still lead 2-0.
Welcome back to Chicago. I've got the dugout report presented by Jack in the Box, and we're about a third of the way through the Major League Baseball season. Joe was asked about the division, where his team is in the standings. When you look at them, they're just 5.5 games back when you start today, when you look at it. And so for Joe, he said it just means that this division is still up for grabs, and there's a lot of baseball left. And we have not had a good start to the season, so he expects his club to get hot, make this fun battle for this division, too, with the amount of games that they have left. But you can look at the standings, he said. It's very easy to look those up. However, he wants his team to just focus on them every day. Focus on playing winning baseball consistently. Let's get some series wins going to get.
Yeah, absolutely. The Astros taking baby steps, winning 5 of their last 9. Now 10 games under 500, but a series win here against a good Cubs team would go a long way towards building confidence. And then the Rangers are the final stop on this 3-city road trip for 4 beginning on Monday. Here's Nico Horner, who was leading off most this season, batting in the 4 spot today, and takes a strike to go to 2-2. Horner generally puts the ball in play, more walks than strikeouts, 24 walks to 18 strikeouts. Only Luis Arraez tougher to strike out in the major leagues than Nico Horner. Now the count is 3-2. Kaiwei Tang with a 1-2-3 first inning, back out here for the second. That's going to be a walk. So Horner draws a walk here to start the second. Now the only guy who has faced Kaiwei Tang before, and that is Michael Conforto. Conforto with the Dodgers last year faced Tang and had 1 at bat and struck out. Conforto hitting 5th for the first time in 26. And that's off the plate for a ball, 1-0. Kaiwei in that last start, striking out a season high 7. Did allow 4 walks in that outing against the Rangers over 5 innings of work. The 4 walks were also a season high. Had not walked more than 2 in any other outing this year. And that was only 1 time where he walked 2 in a bullpen appearance. Two and two the count to Conforto. Fly ball, right center field. Coming in, Bryce Matthews. He'll make the catch. Back to first goes Horner.
Star Wars Night returns to Dyken Park next Saturday, featuring themed characters, special activities, and an exclusive Star Wars bobblehead add-on package while supplies last. Learn more at astros.com/Star Wars.
Now Seiya Suzuki hitting down in the 6th spot today. Ian Happ and Seiya Suzuki came up a bunch yesterday with runners in scoring position. As a team, they were 0 for 9 with runners in scoring position yesterday and left 11 men on base, including twice leaving the bases loaded. They had the bases loaded and nobody out in the 3rd after Spencer Arrighetti walked the batter and then hit 2 batters, and then the Cubs failed to score. Happ struck out, Suzuki popped up, Conforto grounded out. That's why you're seeing the shuffle in the lineup.
5 walks, 3 hit batters in the game yesterday for Astros pitching, yet none of them scored. It's a tough way to live, dangerous way to live.
The only runs came across on a 2-run home run allowed by Steven Okert, who faced 3 batters and gave up 2 runs. But yeah, it was dangerous. They were right on the edge of the volcano all game long, working in and out of trouble. 1-2 the count on Suzuki. Seiya still has an OPS over 800, which is better than the top 4 guys in the lineup. He's at 802 right now, starting today, including a 900 OPS at home this year. Horner drifting well off the bag, but no throw from Kai Wei. Jeremy Pena steps on the bag and turns a double play. Pena with a nice job getting 2 there on the ground ball by Suzuki. Tang faces the minimum in the 2nd. Chevy Stropel. It's about young players or rookies on the Astros team. Which Astros rookie would give the team the biggest long-term jolt if they have a late May surge? A. Zach Colby, Tatsuya Imai. C. Bryce Matthews, D. Cam Smith. But at Space City HN, use the hashtag Stropel. Joe Espada saying before the game, Tatsuya will pitch Monday against the Texas Rangers to kick off that series down at Globe Life Field. Tomorrow will be Peter Lambert as Lamborghini gets to rev their engines here in Chicago.
I like it.
Cesar Salazar leading off here in the 3rd inning. Cesar hadn't played yet on this road trip. Christian Vasquez played all 3 games in Minnesota, then played the opener here yesterday. Cesar is 1 for 11 on the season. His only hit coming against the left-hand pitcher. Making his 2nd start on the road in 2026. It'll be Cesar and then Jeremy Pena and Isaac Paredes. Cesar hits the ball on a line, but the right fielder, Seiya Suzuki, doesn't have to move very far as he lines out to right for the 1st out. I imagine, just looking around, that you heard your share of Astros fans when you were in attendance here at Wrigley yesterday.
Oh yeah, there were a ton of them. And you can see them scattered throughout the stadium too. There's a lot of orange behind that Astros dugout. Yeah, but no matter what section we were looking up into or walking past, there was at least a handful of Astros fans in there.
Yeah, a lot to cheer about early with that 4-0 lead. Scored in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th innings. This ball floated into left center. Here comes PCA. Pete Crow Armstrong, one of the best defenders in all of baseball, if not the best defensive center fielder, makes that play look easy for the 2nd out.
StatCast 3D, powered by Google Cloud, will show you how the wind affected Isak's home run potential. And guess what? It affected it quite a bit, 32 feet. That would have been an easy home run under different conditions. Incredible. We talk about it a lot. Isak really hitting every single home run he's got to the left side of the field, but he elevates to that pull side more than anybody.
Isak started his career with the Tigers, but then after that trade from Tampa Bay in 24 to the Cubs, he played 52 games with the Cubs in 24. Only hit 3 home runs in those 52 games. So, like you said earlier, Blubber, he's probably very happy to have Dyken Park be his home stadium instead of when the wind blows in here.
Yeah, in case he needed a reminder, he got one in that first at bat.
Never really clicked here for Isak. He had a 632 OPS over those 52 games as a Cub before that big offseason trade to the Astros after the 24 season. Ray has retired 6 in a row as he misses just a little high, 2-2. Colin Ray back with the Cubs for the second time in his career, with the Brewers in the interim. Been with the Brewers 2 different stays as well. And he misses down and in. Now the count's full on Paredes. We say that more than anybody else in that lineup. He gets a lot of full counts in his favor. And that's going to be ball 4. Second walk allowed by Ray. The first one scored. That was Yordan Alvarez.
Yellowwood is bringing the lumber, and so is Yordan Alvarez. How about for the Astros, a 300-plus average and 15-plus home runs through their first 52 games. Yordan this season at 303, 15 home runs. George Springer had 17 home runs and 308 in 2019. Even with that rough May, still one of the best starts in franchise history.
Ray has not challenged much facing Yordan in his career. Yordan goes after a splitter there. It's 1-1. 3 walks in 6 total plate appearances against Ray. There's a strike. He's thrown him 3 splitters in this at bat. Pretty heavy lean to the left-hand hitters when facing Colin Ray. That one skied. Long run for Alex Bregman. Still coming in foul territory. Puts it away for the final out of the inning. Bregman had a long way to go, but made the catch on his former teammate for the final out.
The numbers so great that he is surrounded with some pretty incredible company when you look at numbers through your first 7 starts there with the Astros. And Spencer talked about this morning with me, as I didn't get a chance to hear him post game, guys, but he said, from the outside, I know things look good, but there are things that I want to clean up. I want to walk less people. I want to be more in the zone. And then he was quick to say, I don't want to harp on myself too much. I know this is more about the team winning when I'm on the mound, and we've been doing that right now, so I've got to keep it going. Blummer, I know you've seen the comments that he's had, usually giving credit to everyone playing behind him. He just has a good understanding of all that it takes.
Yeah, he does, and it's kind of interesting how his season started with him not making the opening day roster, but now at this point in the season, he is the ace of this staff. With Hunter Brown going on the shelf and a lot of injuries to that rotation, they were looking to somebody to be that leader, and he's been that guy.
He's had a decision in every start this year. 6 wins and 1 loss. And when you get a decision in every start, that means you're going pretty deep into games. And he has been a blessing for the Astros rotation since joining him after 3 starts at Sugar Land. 3-1 the count to Moises Ballesteros leading off the 3rd inning. DH for the Cubs. Hitting in the 7th spot. It'll be Ballesteros, Amaya, and Swanson. And that is just off the plate, ball 4. So Kaiwei Tang walks his second batter of the game. Both have been leadoff walks here in the 2nd and 3rd. One thing Spencer talks about, or has talked about, I think with the very first Astro line we did with him in spring training, was how much he likes the strikeout.
Oh, he loves it.
But there's also that fine line between trying to get chase in deeper counts and then walking too many guys. And I think that's what he's saying to Julius. There's something to clean up. 4 walks, 2 hit batters yesterday, a lot of extra traffic. This ball hit sharply, but right at Paredes. He goes to second for 1. The turn in time for the double play. That ball was hit very hard by Miguel Amaya, but right at Isak, who turned 2.
Nice turn by the defense to pick up Kaiwei Tang. When you got that much time on a hard hit baseball to turn that double play, that was textbook. No, high strikeout guys have a tendency to, you have to throw at least 3 pitches to strike a guy out. And if you're trying to use a pitch or 2 to set a guy up, some of those counts run 4 or 5 pitches deep, so you're going to have some high pitch counts. But to your point, TK, if you can eliminate the walks and get those outs instead of putting that base runner on, that'll help clean up the pitch count as well and get you that much deeper into the game.
Yeah, and yesterday, 5 shutout innings against this team you take every day, all day. But it's also 5 innings, and Spencer wants to go deeper for his team. And that's one thing, as you said, he's now the ace.
Yeah.
When you're the ace, you have to try and go deeper than 5 innings to start, because it kind of sets you up for the rest of the series and the rest of the road trip. The Astros had to use 4 innings yesterday out of their pen. This ball popped into shallow center, so shallow that Braden Shoemake is there. He'll come back on the infield. No, he never saw it. Shoemake never saw that ball. Looked like he was calling it because Pena had a beat on it, but Shoemake never saw it, even with the sunglasses on. Kind of a hazy cloud that has drifted over Wrigley, and the cloud being the same color as a baseball, maybe Shoemake lost it in the sky.
Yeah, the wind and the sun. It does look like he's calling off Pena right there, but all of a sudden you can just see him just bail because he has no idea where that is, unfortunately.
So that is the Cubs' first hit. Dansby Swanson with a pop-up that drops on the infield. Now Pete Crow Armstrong will take a strike. But yeah, what Spencer has done this year has been really fun to watch. And yesterday, just 2 hits allowed in his 5 innings of work. But what he was probably referring to with Julia was cleaning up some of those walks, 4 walks and a couple of hit batters. It's because conditions similar to today, where you can let guys try and drive it out of here on you and fill up the zone when you can. Oh, and 2 the count to PCA. 2 outs and a runner on first on the pop-up that fell in. Jeremy Pena right before this pitch checking the sky with his glove as the clouds continue to drift over the stadium.
It's kind of weird. We got a little San Francisco feel to it.
And that ball is going to be a fair ball down the line. Cam gets to it in a hurry. Heading to third is Dansby Swanson. Cam holds Pete Crow Armstrong to a single, but now first and third with 2 outs.
Yeah, that ball hit well and just snuck inside that right field foul line. But a fortuitous bounce here at Wrigley gets that ball to Cam Smith and keeps everybody from either scoring or advancing another 90 feet. Just on that chalk line.
Now Alex Bregman bats with runners on the corners and 2 outs. There goes Armstrong. The throw by Salazar is in time. Cesar Salazar guns down Pete Crow Armstrong to end the third with a runner at third base. Huge throw by Cesar.
Thank you very much, Pete Crow Armstrong. Great throw from Cesar to get him, and they're not going to challenge. That's inning ending. Cesar popping out quick from behind home plate. A little hesitation over there at first base, but that's a big out with a guy like Alex at the plate. Clown's going to show you how Christian's ball got out of here. He had a low launch angle, obviously crushed it at 105.5, but that is not a very high roller coaster to get up onto because he hit that ball at 19-degree launch angle and kind of kept it below the, the grandstands that TK and I are sitting in calling this game. You keep it below that, you got a chance to get one out of here, and he proved it, as opposed to Isak, who had one at 40-degree launch angle.
Chad Whitson calling that last one a strike. Christian Walker is going to challenge.
Ooh.
And that one's off the plate. Walker's going to win this one.
Houston retains their challenge.
Christian wins it by 0.7 of an inch. So now a 2-0 count for Seawalk, who hit his 12th home run of the year and now is up to 33 RBIs on the season. Tomorrow is game 54, which is 1/3 of the way through the season. So whatever your totals are at the end of tomorrow, multiply it by 3, and that's what you're on a pace for. Right now, Walker would be on a pace for a 100 RBI season as an Astro. Jordan was on a 100 RBI pace for a long time, but has fallen slightly below that as Walker goes down on strikes. Or no, check that. The other ball was, or strike was changed to a ball, so now it's 3-2. A home run by Christian Walker, still the only hit for the Astros today. And he hits another one on a line to left, and back goes Conforto. And that ball is off the top of the wall and in play for a single. Just missed getting out to left. It was almost rinse and repeat.
I think that ball might have gotten out. That's what Joe's going to come out and ask. The umpires are going to get together and try and figure this out. This ball getting out there quickly.
It's a home run.
Yeah, definitely.
Bill Miller says it's a home run. Christian Walker, home runs in back-to-back at-bats.
Oh, that fan clanked it off his chest. Looked like he had a Colt 45's hat on, too. So the previous home run by Christian Walker was 105.5, 19-degree launch angle. This home run, 105.6, 18-degree launch angle.
Come on.
I swear to you, you can't make this stuff up.
Mirrors.
He cracked the code.
Wow. Alenia for the second straight at bat for Seawalk has the Astros in front 3-0. Was it a Colt 45's hat?
I believe it was a quick glance, but I believe it was. We're calling him out.
Hey, that's a bullet.
That is a rocket.
I would not try and catch that home run.
Well, and the guy next to him kind of stuck his hand out there. It was a glancing blow.
Now it's 0-2 on Braden Shoemade.
What a day, though. 2 afternoon delights.
Woo!
Big day.
That one he had to stop at first for a while before they conferred. Well, there you go. Colt 45 hat.
Found him.
Nothing like a day in the bleachers at Wrigley.
That was awesome.
Then you get a chance to catch your team's home run. And that would have been quite a catch at 106 miles an hour.
Yeah, instead he's got a bruise to prove it. A little sternum shot.
Shoemade grounded out to second his first time up. Braden drew a walk yesterday in his final plate appearance. The reason that is significant, it was his second career walk after 124 major league at bats. This one he sends to second base on a line for the first out of the inning.
Go back to Seawalk. Got a fastball at 93. You can see it tailing in, and he takes advantage of it by getting that head out quickly. But with plenty of authority behind it, it's able to sneak into the seats.
Second time this year, Colin Ray's allowed a 2-home run game. He did so against the Braves 2 starts ago in Atlanta, over 4 1/3 inning.
Well, right now he's looking at his phone going, man, Blummer's blowing you up right now.
By the way, I love Colt 45 hats.
Yes. How do you not, right?
Yeah.
They're so good.
They're so pure.
They are pure, they are simple, and very effective. It's a great looking lid.
I'm on TV.
Now, if that guy didn't stick his hand out, I would have caught it.
Well, maybe Cam will give him another chance here. It's a 1-1 count to Cam. Cam hit one yesterday. You were at the game that should have gone. Oh, this ball down the line. What a play by Bregman. Gets up and fires, but not in time. Cam runs better than anybody else in the Astros dugout. That was a great try by Alex, but Cam beats out the infield hit.
Great effort by Alex, but it was going to take a phenomenal play to get the speed of Cam. Pulls it down the line. Alex did a great job adjusting to that hop, but Cam just too quick.
That wasn't even a direct route, and he still got down the line in a hurry. Now Zach Cole, the batter. Cole takes one down for ball 1.
29.9 feet per second for Cam.
Yeah, and he was kind of deciding whether he was going to round the bag or go straight through, and that's really a good time down the line. Zach Cole has seen 6 pitches today. 5 of them have been off the plate. He popped up on a 3-0 pitch his first time up on a good play by the catcher Miguel Amaya. Oh, Cam just got picked off. Cam was leading, and Colin Ray with a quick pickoff. Astros stolen base leader wiped off the bases for the second out.
Got a little aggressive, and Colin Ray gets him. He was leaning. In the process of trying to get back, wasn't able to with that quick tag by Michael Busch.
Now Cole fouls one away. It's 2-1. Just off the plate. Zach has another 3-ball count. This time is 3-2 with 2 outs and the bases clear. Christian Walker giving the Astros a 3-0 lead. He has accounted for all the runs with a couple of home runs today. Cole get another 3-2 pitch. That one was up over the roof here behind home plate.
It's kind of fun when the foul ball gets out of the stadium. Kind of gives it that really extra old school feel to it. Hey, did you see that? We got it on video.
Back-to-back days we saw a Braden Shoemake walk, and now Zach Cole's first walk of the season. Now a word from Dairy Queen.
Treat yourself to a summertime reward at DQ with our new breakfast treat collection.
How about that? We saw a Shoemake walk and a Cole walk in back-to-back days. Now Bryce Matthews taking a pitch off the plate for ball 1. Zach 48 at bats before his first walk.
Yeah, right now Maya's going out there. Do you believe what you just saw?
Shoemake was over 60 at bats before his first walk. Zach Cole chatting it up with Michael Busch about the wind, it seems like.
He's saying that pitch was way outside. That's how I walked. I couldn't touch it. Now, you know they're definitely talking about the wind, TK. You are exactly right.
Dave Clark just chilling behind Zach saying, hey, I need to talk to you.
Yeah.
Stop this conversation. What? Clarky. So Bryce with a 1-0 count. And a pitch over for a strike. Bryce flied out to center field his first time up. Hit sharply, but Dansby Swanson is there. Goes to second for Nico Horner for the force out on Cole. Astros do get a run thanks to Christian Walker. He's accounted for the 3-0 lead.
Behind the scenes look at the ins and outs of Dyken Park with a ballpark tour. See the stadium like never before. Book your tour today at astros.com/tours. TK.
All right, Julia, how you doing down there?
Hi, I'm great. I'm in the seats.
You're in the seats.
Up in the seats.
That's a good place to be.
Well, Blummer was talking about being a fan, so I was
man.
like, I want to be a fan for a second.
Good for you. Alex Bregman leading off here in the bottom half of the fourth inning. Bregman was at the plate when Pete Crow Armstrong tried to steal a base with runners on first and third and 2 outs last inning. And Cesar Salazar gunned him down. The Astros threw down to second. Sometimes you don't see teams throw to second in that first and third situation, but that was well executed by Salazar and the Astros.
Yeah, you usually have that play set up before the runner takes off. But with Dansby Swanson at third base, I thought that they might just give a little pump fake and keep him at third base. But Dansby didn't even move when that ball was thrown to second base. So the Astros made a very good choice.
That ball driven to left center, but Zach Cole has it lined up and puts it away for the first out of the fourth.
But if you're going to steal a base right there with a guy like Alex Bregman at the plate, you better be 100% sure you're going to make it.
I think we found Julia in the seats at Wrigley.
Hello.
There you go.
Family time.
No, yeah, it's not strangers. There's actually this is my family. It's wild down here, though. We're all friendly. It's tight.
Friendly confines.
Friendly confines. A lot of Astros fans, though, fortunately.
Lots of Astros fans, right? I was talking to Blummer about that because he was a fan yesterday.
Quite a few.
I mean, it's only once every 2 years the Astros are here. And the last time we were here, it was very cold. We were frozen leaving this booth last time we were here.
Brutal.
So this is Memorial Day weekend, a chance to get out to Wrigley for a lot of Astros fans. Some of them live in the Midwest, but a lot of people have traveled up from H-Town and surrounding areas. Michael Busch taking a strike. It's 1-2. Kaiway has given up a couple of hits, but they both came with 2 outs last inning, and one of them could have been the third out. It was a pop-up that Braden Shoemake lost in the sun or the sky. But he has looked pretty good. Only one over the minimum through 3, and that was because of a couple of double plays that he got helped out with, plus a runner caught stealing. Busch struck out swinging his first time up. Got in on his hands with the sweeper. It stays 2-2. Kaiway Tang worked one other time with Cesar Salazar. That was in Cincinnati 2 starts ago. That was the relief to starting role that he was starting to build up, and went 63 pitches. Was fine for 3 innings, but then that 4th inning got him a little bit. But now, after 63 pitches against the Reds, he followed up with 76 against Texas. And you would think that threshold has moved closer to 85 or 90 today. the plate, and a 3-2 count. Got him. Highway striking out Michael Busch for the second time today. 3 strikeouts overall in the second out of the inning. Today's fan cam is driven by GulloAuto.com. We mentioned there are a lot of Astros fans here at Wrigley, and you're going to see some shots of a bunch of them as they are in town here for the Saturday game, middle game of this 3-game series. This ball hit to second. Braden Shoemake down to a knee to make the play. Kai-Wei Tang has a 1-2-3-4 as Nico Horner grounds out to end the inning. We head to the 5th. Astros fans are happy. It's 3-0 after 4.
Cancer. If you are able, please stand up and hold the tribute cards you received upon entry. Please join our players, front office associates, and our incredible fans as we recognize those who have been affected by this disease. Thank you for participating, and thank you for supporting critical cancer research by attending Cubs for a Cure, presented by Advocate Healthcare.
Presented by Yellowwood brand pressure treated pine. If it doesn't have this yellow tag, you don't want it. By Gallery Furniture. Buy your furniture today. Gallery Furniture delivers free tonight. And by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Fun can't lose. Pleasant afternoon for day baseball here at Wrigley Field. 3 day games, all starting at the same time here, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Yesterday was on Apple, back on SCHN today and tomorrow. Cesar Salazar with a drag bunt, gets it past the pitcher, but a behind-the-back throw by Nico Horner with a bare hand. He went bare hand behind the back to get Salazar for the first out.
Man, he went for the show play, didn't he? Credit Michael Busch for staying on the bag, too. Sally trying to bunt for that base hit.
Oh, between
the legs. Wow. A little extra.
Not a bad idea for Salazar, but bunted a little too firmly. Now Pena goes after the first pitch and pops one up to the shortstop. Dansby Swanson makes the catch. 2 pitches and 2 outs here in the 5th inning.
This week on Astros Bases Loaded, we break down Spencer Arrighetti's memorable start versus the Rangers. We go behind the scenes of the Astros Foundation Champions for Healthy Families fashion show. And we show you how the Houston area Chevy dealers made a big difference in one veteran's life. Astros Bases Loaded after the postgame show and anytime on SCHN+.
There couldn't be a better hitter here after 2 quick outs than Isaac Paredes. He's a veteran. He took his time getting to the batter's box, and he took his time addressing the pitcher. Now he's using his time out here after the first pitch. He just wants to give Kai-Wei Tang a little breather after 2 outs on 2 pitches. He goes after that 0-1 pitch and grounds it to deep short. It's going to be a 4-pitch inning for Colin Ray as he gets the Astros in order here in the 5th. Halfway home in a 3-0 game. It's against the Milwaukee Brewers. It'll be next weekend at Dyken Park. Get your tickets now at astros.com/SGT. The Brewers were the team that preceded the Astros into Wrigley and swept the Cubs in a 3-game series. The Astros extending the Cubs' losing streak to 4 with a win yesterday 4-2. And now ahead 3-0 as we play here in the bottom half of the 5th inning. Michael Conforto, Seiya Suzuki, and Moises Ballesteros are your 3 due up for Chicago. Kaiway gets ahead 0-2 on Conforto, who flied out to center his first time up. Got him on 3 pitches. Kaiway Tang with 4 strikeouts today, picking up the first out of the 5th inning.
Changeup has some play against left-handed hitters. Getting some serious chase on that changeup, going way off the outside corner.
Now Seiya Suzuki takes a strike. Suzuki grounded into a double play his first time up. Astros have turned 2 double plays today and also thrown out a base runner. That one's going to be foul and heading out of play. And Kaiway getting ahead for the second straight batter, 0-2. Kaiway Tang trying to establish himself as a regular member of the rotation, making his 3rd consecutive start. 3 innings and 3 runs in his first start against the Reds, but all those runs came across in the 4th inning when he was pushed in his first start beyond 50 pitches for the first time this year. Then 5 innings of shutout baseball last time against the Rangers, only allowing 2 hits. He did allow 4 walks that day. Pitch is down to Suzuki. It's 1-2. That's hit well to left field. It's hooking down the line, and it is hooking foul. Seiya Suzuki, plenty distance to get it through the wind, but he hooked it foul down the left field line.
It's one of the few mistakes sweepers we see from Kaiway.
They list the home run direction for Seiya Suzuki here on the scoreboard in left field, and they show that all of his home runs this year have been to right or right center. But he really almost pulled that one down the left field line. There you go. Kind of the opposite of Isaac Paredes.
Exactly.
Got him. Highway. 5 strikeouts, back-to-back Ks here in the 5th, and looking strong. Now a message from Buick GMC. Kaiway has retired the last 5 batters, now facing the DH Moises Ballesteros, who walked his first time up. Cubs coming into today 2nd in Major League Baseball with a walk percentage of 11.6%. They do see a lot of pitches and do draw a lot of walks. Corner and Ballesteros walking so far today for Chicago. And now Kaiway with a 2-0 count on the DH. Got 0-2 on the first 2 hitters of the inning, and now he's 3-0. Astros last 16 games has really been battling it. Just 3 hits in those 16 games. But he got to a hitter's count here and draws his second walk, both on 3-1 pitches. That'll draw a visit from Cesar Salazar. Kaiway's at 75 pitches. We thought he would be in that 85 to 90 range, so not sure if he can get another full inning. Plummer, yesterday, it was a combination of pitch counts and also up-downs for both Enio De Los Santos and Brian King, who went multiple innings.
Yeah, you got to take that into the equation when you're trying to protect these guys and give them days and breaks. But it feels like if the Astros have a lead, Brian King is going to make an appearance.
Kaiway has now walked 3 today after walking 4 in his last start. Miguel Amaya takes one down and away for ball 1. Now King has not only been closing out games, he's been getting 4, 5, 6 out appearances on his ledger pretty consistently in the first couple of months of the season. Got Amaya to swing and miss at the sweeper. It's 1-1. Astros do have their bullpen going for the first time. Steven Okert, who got into the game yesterday, beginning to loosen up. That one's down, 2-1. A righty here and a righty next. Okert might be there if it gets as far as Pete Crow Armstrong this inning, who's leading off, and 2 batters away. Count evens at 2. Called, third strike, inside corner. Well-placed sweeper by Kaiway Tang, who strikes out 3 in the inning, now has a half dozen in the game.
That sweeper has been money all season long for Kaiway Tang, and that's the Kaiway to Tang. Here's a look at some of Papa John's key ingredients. And how about the ingredients to beat the wind here at Wrigley Field? Just hit some low lasers into the seats. 2 home runs today for Christian Walker, gives him 13 on the season, tied for 6th in the American League, and he's doing it with a 19-degree launch angle and an 18-degree launch angle to get both those home runs out here on a windy afternoon at Wrigley.
I saw Joe Espada walk out of the dugout and start talking to Yordan Alvarez in the on-deck circle. And Joe is checking to see if Yordan's okay.
Really?
I'm not sure about what. Rafael Freitas comes out, and Yordan was in the on-deck circle. Joe was standing with him for like the last 30 seconds, and then he stood in front of him and almost was like, "You're not getting past me to go hit here. I need to get a trainer to look at you." Very unusual.
That is extremely unusual. And if you're an Astro fan, that is frightening.
Joe was concerned enough to stand out there with them for a lengthy amount of time when we were checking out the Christian Walker home runs. And apparently Jordan has convinced both Joe and the assistant athletic trainer Rafael Freitas that he's okay, but Joe was concerned enough to leave the dugout and stand with Jordan for a while. Well, here we go. Jordan in the batter's box here to lead things off. First pitch strike, 0-1. Jordan has started every game for the Astros, all 53 this year. He's been primarily the designated hitter for the last few weeks as he grounds one foul. It's 0-2. Joe's going to come out again. This is something that's concerning Joe Espada. Jordan, after that foul ball, has his manager coming out and checking on him a second time, and he's not going to let him swing anymore. He's going to come out of the game. Well, that's just terrible news for the Astros. Hopefully he's just not feeling well. But Jordan talked his way into the batter's box, and then on that last swing.
So on the bottom right of your screen, he's coming out of the dugout. No rush, leading off the inning. Kind of raises his arms a little bit. It's hard to tell what's going on.
Hopefully he's just not feeling well. But here comes Joe. That was on tape, obviously. So Zach DeZenzo is going to come on and be the designated hitter and inherit an 0-2 count. And if we can get an update during the game, we will. If not, we'll certainly have one post game. But Jordan Alvarez leaving the game mid at bat in the 6th inning. Zach goes down on strikes. That'll be the first out of the inning, and Colin Ray picks up his second strikeout of the game, his first since the 2nd inning. As the designated hitter, you would think if there was something seriously wrong that he would have said something prior to going to the on-deck circle. So you're hoping it's maybe an illness or something that cropped up on him in this inning. It's a little floater into left, and Christian Walker broke his bat that he hit 2 home runs with. But he ends up with a single. That bat is going to be missed by C-Dub.
It did go down a hero. Yeah, a couple of hot smashes for home runs, and then really put a powerful one on this one. It's a 2-seamer running up and in, gets jammed. And there you see the break on her. Masters from Supermos. That ball came off the bat at 67.6 miles an hour for a base hit.
Not quite the same exit velo as his last 2 at-bats.
They'd have to add those together.
There's Braden Shoemake. He's hit the ball to the second baseman twice, once on a line drive and once in a ground out. Shoemake with a foul tip here with a 1-1 count. Braden hasn't had as much luck away from Dyken Park in his short Astros career. He's hitting .266 overall, just 3 for 19 on the road. He has done most of his damage at home this year. That one's wide. Counts 2-2. Christian Walker with 3 hits in the game. Astros only have 4 hits overall. He has 3/4 of them. Shoemake sends one into deep left center field. Pete Crow Armstrong all the way back near the wall, leaping up, and he makes a great catch in the Ivies. Shoemake gave that a ride to left center, and Pete Crow Armstrong makes another great play in center for the Cubs.
Stole that one from the ivy here at Wrigley Field. A great plays. This ball is carrying quite a ways. The wind shifting a little bit and blowing towards that left field corner. Crow Armstrong stays with it and times that jump beautifully.
Shoemake gave that a ride of 365 feet. You can see PCA is the leader in outs above average for the last few seasons. Now Cam Smith, the batter. Jacob Young for the Nationals on that list, but Pete Crow Armstrong tops it all of baseball since 24. Cam starting to move up the list in the last 2 seasons. Obviously, he did not play at the big league level in 24, so couldn't accrue any outs above average that year. Got a 2-0 count here, does Cam Smith. Pops one up. Second baseman Nico Horner to his left will put it away for the final out of the inning. 1 hit, 1 left on base. We head to the bottom of the 6th. Astros lead it 3-0.
And select Friday and Saturday Astros games through July 4th. Food options include nachos, hot dogs, pretzels, and more. Get tickets now at astros.com/AYCE. Ticket.
All right, Julia, Kai-Wei Tang, whose longest career outing is 5 1/3, will go 5 1/3 today if this ball is caught by Cam Smith, and it is for the first out. Cam putting one away on Dansby Swanson, 1 pitch and 1 out. And it looks like Kai-Wei will stay in there as Pete Crow Armstrong will come to the plate. The Astros have had Steven Okert warming in the last couple of innings. And Kai-Wei trying to set a new mark for longest outing of his career. I would think he's got about 10 to 12 pitches to work with this inning. And if it gets to Michael Busch, that might be the end of the day for him. He's got another lefty 2 batters away.
Makes the most sense. Dansby did him a favor by getting that fly out on 1 pitch.
Another ball hit to center field. This ball sending Bryce Matthews back to the wall. He'll put it away for the 2nd out. So PCA, Pete Crow Armstrong, who robbed Braden Shoemake, flies out to center. This was an easier play for Bryce, but still tagged well. Now a word from Christian Brothers Automotive.
From complex repairs to oil changes, we've got you covered at Christian Brothers Automotive. Great service, great offers, great warranty.
Alex Bregman, who has popped up and lined out going after the first pitch and fouls it back. So a new career high for Kai-Wei Tang, 5 2/3 innings, surpassing a game he pitched September 1st of last year in Colorado when he went 5 1/3 for the Giants. That's going to be a challenge from Cesar Salazar on a curveball. Chad Whitson said it was off the plate. Cesar felt it caught the inside corner.
Oh, wow. How about that?
Pitch was a strike. Houston retains their challenge.
Berge was bailing out of the way with that pitch coming at him, and it broke back and just got enough of the plate to be called.
What a challenge by Cesar. Now it's 0-2 with 2 outs and the base is empty. That one wide. Bregman 1,111 games in an Astros uniform over 9 seasons. Got in on him, almost clipped him. Instead, it's ball 2. It's 2-2. And now with that pitch count near 90, this is almost definitively Kai-Wei Tang's final batter. And he gets the ground ball to short. Jeremy Pena will take his time and fire to first. And Kai-Wei Tang has 6 shutout innings for the first time in his major league career. He'll get some love from Cesar Salazar.
And on this date, a while back, young Lance McCullers on the mound. You go Villar to Altuve to Chris Carter off the bat of Ian Kinsler. And that is a triple play in 2015 in Detroit. And that would lead to Lance McCullers' first major league win. Some youngsters on that ball club.
How about Kai-Wei Tang going 6 innings today of shutout baseball? His last 2 starts, Plummer, 11 innings combined of no runs.
That'll earn you some extra length in your outings when you're putting up zeros like that. But credit Kai-Wei for working hard. We saw in the offseason starting to pay off in season for the Astros as he moves himself into that rotation.
Career high in innings pitched, career high in pitches, both set last September 1st with the Giants. 5 1/3 and 85 were his previous career highs, and today he goes 6 and 89. Astros batting against Colin Ray, who's still in there here in the 7th inning with a pitch count of 87 of his own. It'll be Zach Cole, Bryce Matthews, and Cesar Salazar. 1 and 2 to Cole, who has popped up and also drawn a walk. That one's wide, 2 and 2. Nobody warming right now in the Cubs bullpen. Ray has gone over 100 pitches once this season. Cole down on strikes. That'll be strikeout number 3 for Colin Ray, and the first out in the 7th. Ray's only allowed 4 hits, and had it not been for Christian Walker, he might be in a scoreless game right now. Christian has 3 of those 4 hits, 2 of them being home runs, driving in all 3 runs in this game. Bryce Matthews taking one wide. Bryce hit the ball hard last time into a fielder's choice. He's also flied out to center. That ball into right center, hit pretty well. Suzuki back on it, shielding his eyes, and he goes down to the ground to make that catch. The wind and the sun playing havoc with pop-ups and fly balls. That's out number 2. Welcome your newest little fan to the Astros family with the Astros Rookies Club, presented by Houston Methodist. This program, designed for newborns, includes a bib, swaddle blanket, milestone markers, and Astros birth certificate. Join now at astros.com/rookies club. Cesar Salazar taking a strike. Steven Okert continues to warm for the Astros. He'll get the ball in the bottom half of the 7th inning as Cesar Salazar fouls one on the first base side. It's 0-2. There you see Okert. He has been warming intermittently for the last couple of innings. He'll have the 3, 4, 5 hitters due up in the 7th, including Michael Busch and Michael Conforto, a couple of lefties. Salazar is lined to right and grounded out to second on an attempted drag bunt. Takes a pitch up and away for a ball, 1-2. From 0-2 to 3-2, Salazar with a full count. Cesar has a couple of walks this year. He's only been struck out 1 time. Generally, he'll be feisty up there and put the ball in play. Doesn't have a lot of hits to show for it. Goes down for just the second time this year as he misses the splitter. That's strikeout number 4 for Ray, and he's probably done with 7 innings of work today. 7th inning stretch time. Astros leading the Cubs 3-0 here at Wrigley. We're going to head back to Houston and check in on our Rooms to Go lounge.
Tap is presented by Lawn Mower Blonde. Kaiwei Tang, just a couple of hits were allowed. Over 6 scoreless innings. He struck out 6, continuing to best himself every time he's on the mound. 44% whiff on the sweeper. It was nice and efficient. It helped him get through today on a day game conditions here at Wrigley. What a nice addition, though, to this Astros rotation here recently. Blemmer.
Thank you, Julia. He pitched extremely well, and he's going to give way to that Astros bullpen that's going to try and keep it right where it's at. They're going to start with Steven Okert coming out of that bullpen. Did pitch in yesterday's ball game, went a third of an inning. Did give up that home run, but overall in the season, a 4.22 ERA, a vital, durable piece in that bullpen.
That ball really drifted foul on Isaac Paredes to the point where it was in the camera well. Isaac thought he had that lined up for a while. That'll be strike number 1 here to Michael Busch. How about back-to-back starts for Kaiwei? 5 innings of shutout baseball against the Rangers, 6 innings of shutout baseball, his longest career outing against the Cubs. 89 pitches, only 2 hits allowed. Broken bat, Looper, who wants it. It's going to be Shoemake calling off Jeremy Pena. Pena had it lined up, but Shoemake took charge, and they avoided a major collision for the first out.
Yeah, fortunately, the out is made, and everybody is okay. You're going to see this shift being played. A little bit longer way for Shoemake to go. But just fortunately, he didn't take out Jeremy Pena in the process.
Now Nico Horner taking a pitch for a ball. If I'm not mistaken, since you have used the Kaiwei to Tang nickname, he's got 11 shutout innings.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing being on the Kaiwei to Tang. Who knew?
Who knew? Nico Horner with a 1-1 count. And it was established early in the season that Kaiwei's got a great personality that we're learning more and more about as we go along.
Yeah, it has been fun to get to know him a little bit better.
You can see how happy he was, filled with smiles coming back to the dugout after that 6th inning. He had never gotten through a 6th inning at the big league level before. Ground ball, 1 big hop. Isaac Paredes will make the throw, and that's 2 outs for Okert here in the 7th.
Time now for Astros Trivia, powered by Reliant. We're going to ask you, before his playing career ended with the Houston Astros in 1998, which Astro had 2 stints with the Cubs in 1990 and 1997. Astros Trivia, powered by Reliant.
This is Kevin Alcantara, just recalled from AAA today, hitting for Michael Conforto. He's got a 1-1 count. Alcantara 242 at AAA with 15 home runs and a 906 OPS. Tied for the most amongst all AAA players. As he takes a big swing and gets a piece of Cesar Salazar, it's 1-2. Chad Whitson talking it over with Steven Okert to give Salazar an extra beat to feel okay.
A little courtesy visit to get Salazar back in shape.
Alcantara is the number 5 prospect for the Cubs, according to the MLB pipeline. 13 career games with Chicago last year and the year before. Combined 5 for 21 with 1 run batted in those 2 years. He's got a 2-2 count here. He's 23 years old. He goes down on the slider. That is strikeout number 1 in a 1-2-3 inning for Steven Okren. He gets through the 7th with the Astros leading 3-0. Stropel, we asked you about which Astros rookie, if they had a big surge in late May, would have the biggest long-term jolt for the team. And Tatsuya Imai, almost 50% of the vote, is the winner of today's Stropel. Thanks to those who voted. Tatsuya Imai with the Stropel win. We go to the 8th, top of the order due up. Jeremy Pena facing a new pitcher, Trent Thornton.
A lot of experience for Thornton against these Astros. A lot of that time spent with the Seattle Mariners. Ground ball to third for that first out from Thornton. There's the numbers on Thornton. Only 6 games this season, but a beautiful 2.35 ERA, 5 strikeouts in 7 2/3.
Well, Pena now 0 for 4. Isaac Paredes looking for his first hit. He's walked. He's 0 for 2 today. Hit the ball to deep left field that on another day would have been 10 to 15 rows deep into the bleachers, as we showed you the difference between wind and no wind. There is a new left fielder in the game for the Cubs, and it is Alcantara, who pinch hit in the last inning, who's taken over and left. That one gets by for a ball, gets by the catcher Amaya. It's 1-1. There is Kevin Alcantara making his first appearance in a Cubs uniform in 2026. That ball hit hard into left center. Pete Crow Armstrong diving attempt. He can't get there. Paredes heading to second. The throw from Alcantara is late. That'll be a double for Paredes, and Pete Crow Armstrong almost made one of the catches of the year, but couldn't come up with it.
It was incredible. He was shading that way, but that ball hit hard on a line, and he still gave it a diving attempt and almost came up with it. That was a center cut fastball from Thornton that Isak put a charge into. Man, just out of the reach.
Now Zach DeZenzo, who is now the designated hitter, took over an 0-2 count from Yordan Alvarez and struck out his first time up. Now bats for a second time. That ball roped to left field. Alcantara will make this catch. Astros hitting the ball hard here in this inning. Not much to show for it.
We've got outfield arms presented by Lone Star College. We're going to give a green light to Alcantara just because we want to see what that young right arm can do. PCA's got 4 assists and a pretty good arm out there in center field, and Suzuki, decent velocity coming out of that right arm, so you might be a little bit of a yellow light on him and make sure that you move him left or right before you try and challenge him.
Christian Walker trying to continue what has been a perfect day so far. Had 3 hits on the road trip coming into today in 18 at bats, and today he's 3 for 3, 2 line drive home runs and a broken bat single. (2-0) the count.
Yeah, you wonder if he's going to get a pitch right here with Shoemake on deck and first base open.
Astros have 2 righties warming up in their bullpen. AJ Blueball warming up alongside Eniel De Los Santos. De Los Santos got 5 outs in the game yesterday. That 4th pitch will not be made to home plate. They will just put up the 4 fingers and send Christian Walker on his way. So he'll be on base a 4th time in what turns out to be an intentional walk. They got the 3-0 and didn't want to mess with him. So Shoemake was robbed by Pete Crow Armstrong on a great play last time he was up. He's 0 for 3 today. Goes after the first pitch, 0-1. Shoemake looking for his first hit of the road trip. He's 0 for 11 thus far between Minnesota and here at Wrigley. Now he's going to have to battle down to the count 0-2. With that double by Isaac Paredes, the Astros now up to 5 hits in the game. It's also been 4 walks allowed today. On the other side, between Kai-Wei Teng and Steven Okert, only 2 hits and 3 walks allowed. And a pitcher's afternoon here at Wrigley with the wind blowing in. That ball to right. Suzuki comes on and makes the catch. Braden Shoemake is out number 3. Couple left on. We're going to head to the bottom of the 8th. Still 3-0 Houston. The Shiner spotlight falls on maybe the windiest day in Major League history. We've talked about the wind today, but there was a wind in Pittsburgh that caused the game to be called in the 9th inning. The Astros won it 3-0. Stuff was blowing everywhere that day at Three River Stadium. Jim Gott could barely see home plate on the mound. Mike Lavalier was like, I'm getting out of here. Debris everywhere as the game was called with the Astros ahead 3-0 due to wind, making today seem like calm conditions.
That was nasty. Woo. It was a miserable day in Pittsburgh at Old Three Rivers. Beautiful day here if you're a pitcher. Just with that wind blowing in, some mistakes left up out of the plate have stayed inside the ballpark. Enyel De Los Santos will make his 20th appearance. We mentioned it earlier that he went an inning and 2/3 yesterday with a strikeout, threw 19 pitches to get through that inning and 2/3. Being called on again here in a leverage situation with the Astros leading 3-0. And Yell's been good on the road this season with a 3.86 ERA and a 1.14 whip.
Seiya Suzuki is the first one to face Enyel De Los Santos. Astros have made a couple of changes defensively as well. That one down and away, 2-1. Jake Myers has taken over in center field, and Bryce Matthews moves from center field to second base. So Myers will bat in the spot occupied by Braden Shoemake, who's now out of the game. That's popped up shallow right center. Cam Smith will come in, shield his eyes, and put it away for the first out.
Score big on authentic gear at MLBshop.com. From official jerseys and memorabilia to hats and hoodies, we've got the season covered. Visit MLBshop.com/Astros, the official source for your Houston Astros gear. All right. Wow.
Moises Ballesteros fouls off the first pitch, checks the cup of his bat, the very top of his bat, to see if it's chipped, and it's not. 0-1 the count to Moises, who has walked twice. He walked both times facing Kai-Wei Teng, who walked 3 today. There's a strike on the edge, and De Los Santos getting ahead 0-2. Swing and a miss. De Los Santos, 3-pitch strikeout, getting the fastball up above the swing of Ballesteros for the strikeout. Now a word from TxDOT.
Hook 'em. Kick 'em. Hook 'em. Kick 'em. Hook 'em.
Now De Los Santos will face a pinch hitter making his major league debut. Switch hitting infielder Pedro Ramirez, 22-year-old, just turned 22 in April, will pinch hit here from Miguel Amaya. And He grounds the first pitch he sees in the big leagues to Bryce Matthews. That is quite a job by De Los Santos. Got 5 outs yesterday and a 1-2-3, bottom of the 8th today. We head to the 9th. Astros up 3-0. An SCHN is presented by Texas Children's. By Ram. See your Texas Ram dealer today. Nothing stops Texas. Nothing stops Ram. And by Uber Eats. Crust Pizza brings fresh flavor, bold vibes, and family fun to all fans across Texas. Order on Uber Eats.
To the top of the 9th, we are, and Ryan Rollison, left-handed pitcher, will come out of that bullpen for the Chicago Cubs. 28-year-old lefty was last on the mound on the 20th against Milwaukee, went an inning and 2/3, threw 20 pitches in that outing. Overall, 13th appearance with a 3.86 ERA. Fastball sits around 94.
New battery for the Cubs in addition to the new pitcher Rollison. Carson Kelly, who started yesterday, taking over behind the plate after Miguel Amaya was pinch hit for. Cam Smith bats for the 4th time. Former Cub minor leaguer is 1 for 3 with an infield hit today. Down to the count 0-1. It's now even at 1 apiece. It'll be Cam, Zach Cole, and Bryce Matthews. We're getting a report from the Astros clubhouse on Yordan Alvarez.
Back spasm for Yordan, and he's back in the dugout, so hopefully just something that they're able to tend to, and we'll see how he wakes up and feels tomorrow. But for the time being, small bit of hope, knowing it's just a little bit of a back spasm.
Chopper right side. Cam Speed could make it close. Rollison covers just in time. Good play by the pitcher covering for the first out.
Time now to answer our trivia question, powered by Reliant. We asked you which Astro had 2 stints with the Cubs in 90 and 97 before retiring as an Astro. Hey, who is it? There he is, Dave Clark. Talked about those 2 years here on the north side. Dave Clark, one of our favorites, and the Astros first base coach now.
Zach Cole takes a pitch low for a ball. Cole doesn't have a lot of at-bats against lefty pitching this season, getting an opportunity here against the lefty Rollison. And that's a strike to even up the count. Zach 0 for 5 on the year with 3 strikeouts against lefty pitchers. Astros have double barrel action going in their pen. Brian King, who pitched an inning and a third yesterday, and also Nate Pearson, who we saw make his Astros debut in Minnesota. Stays 1 and 2 on Zach Cole. Not only did King pitch an inning and a third, he also had to pitch to a 5th batter with an error prolonging the 8th inning. But got through those 5 hitters in 17 pitches, very similar to Enyel De Los Santos yesterday, getting through 5 hitters in 19 pitches. De Los Santos came out with a 1-2-3-8. King, if he's called on, will have the 9, 1, and 2 hitters due up for the Cubs in the 9th. Called third strike. Zach Cole down looking. That'll be out number 2 in the first strikeout for Rollison. Now a word from Taqueria Cervantes.
I'm Jeremy Pena of the Houston Astros, and my favorite food is at Taqueria Cervantes.
Here's Bryce Matthews getting a 4th at bat. Bryce has flied out twice and hit the ball hard on the ground for a fielder's choice, 0 for 3. counts 1-1. Carlson was White Sox property when the calendar turned to 2026, but then claimed off waivers, moved from the south side to the north side on January 7th. That ball hit off of Rolston. He doesn't know where it is, and by the time he finds it, Bryce Matthews has an infield hit. Two-out single for Bryce.
Yeah, good for Bryce being able to pick up the single. Would have been interesting to see if that would have snuck through. That ball was off the bat at 104.7. That's why they're out there checking on Rollison. But I think he said it kind of hit off the heel of the cleat and didn't catch too much of that foot, so he'll be all right, stay in this game. But it would have been interesting to see if that would have shot through into center field as he knocks it down with a foot, kicks it around a little bit, just can't find it.
So Bryce, a two-out base runner. They may try and see if Bryce can steal a bag here. Always a little more difficult with a lefty pitcher who you haven't seen before with his move. Cesar Salazar getting it at bat, lefty on lefty. His only hit this year has been against the left-handed pitcher as he takes a pitch up for a ball, 1-0. There goes Bryce, and they do have him picked off. The throw is going to be in time. Dansby Swanson applying the tag for the final out of the inning. We're going to head to the bottom of the ninth. Astros leading 3-0. We'll see who's on. Most likely Brian King.
And it was back in the third inning. Pete Crow Armstrong on first base with Alex Bregman at the plate. Takes a chance. And Cesar Salazar makes him pay, popping out quickly and throwing a strike to second base. That would finish off that third inning as the Cubs were threatening with Alex Bregman at the plate, but that threat neutralized by the right arm of Cesar Salazar, who's now going to be calling pitches in this inning for Brian King. Pitching in back-to-back games, won an inning and two-thirds in yesterday's game, throwing 19 pitches. His 20th appearance will be a save chance.
In the game of can you find Bryce Matthews now, he has moved positions again. He's gone from center to second last inning and now second to left. And the new second baseman is Nick Allen. Joe Espada
challenging the strike call.
Loves the versatility of Bryce Matthews, who's now back in the outfield after an inning at second base. Dansby Swanson challenges that pitch from Brian King and is not successful, so the Cubs will lose one of their two challenges, and the count's 0-2. There's the new second baseman, Nick Allen. Ground ball slowly hit. Isaac Paredes with the throw to first. One away in the ninth.
The next telecast is going to be presented by Kaplan Sinus Relief, and you're going to see the matchup tomorrow with things getting started as far as coverage at 12:30. Peter Lambert, second part of that Lamborghetti's situation here in Chicago, will be going up against Shota Imanaga with his 3.38 ERA. But how about what Lambert's done on the road? 174 ERA.
There he is, Peter Lambert, getting ready to start the finale tomorrow against the Cubs. Pete Crow Armstrong hits it hard but foul, and King getting ahead 0-2. I mean, King has undoubtedly been the MVP of the bullpen and one of the unsung heroes on this 2026 squad with all the work he's done this year. Swing and a foul tip that hit the ground. Cesar Salazar saying to appeal, but I think the home plate umpire, Chad Whitson, may have got the call right.
He's showing the baseball to the Astros dugout with that smudge of dirt on it, probably. Yeah, but Brian King, we just left Minnesota. They had a guy there named everyday Eddie Gordano, who came in and closed and pitched as often as he was given the baseball, and that's kind of who Brian King has become here of late. If it's leverage and there's an opportunity, he's going to be in there.
And it could be multiple innings.
Yeah, that too.
In the month of May alone, he has gone more than an inning 3 different times. 2 innings against the Dodgers for a save, inning and 2/3 against the Rangers for his 4th save, and then an inning and a third yesterday for a save. And again, he had to pitch to a 5th batter because of an error. Here he's got a 2-2 count on Crow Armstrong. That's wide, 3-2. Got him. Crow Armstrong tried to hold up his swing and waves at strike 3. That's a big out for Brian King for the 2nd out in the 9th.
Tough fastball up, and Crow Armstrong could not hold up.
Frustrated with himself as Alex Bregman bats here with 2 outs and nobody on. Bregman 0 for 3 today. Astros trying to improve to 3-2 on this road trip. First 2 missing to Bregman, 2-0. That's a challenge by Cesar Salazar. Both teams have 2 remaining, so they can get a little more aggressive here in the 9th, knowing that they still have 2, and even if it's not 100% certain, why not take a chance?
First of all, Houston has 1 challenge remaining.
Tough one, close.
Bregman will likely take at least 1 and be very selective on the next one. He hits the ball hard into left center field for a base hit. 2-out base runner for the Cubs in the 9th. Only the 3rd hit allowed by Astros pitching today. Michael Busch taking a strike at the knees. He's going to challenge.
The batter is challenging the strike call.
If he's wrong, the Cubs are out of challenges, as we've had a lot of challenges here in the 9th, and he is wrong.
Pitch was a strike. Chicago has no challenges remaining.
Busch 0 for 3 on the day. A couple of strikeouts against Kai-Wei Tang and a soft line error to second against Steven Okert. That one's down, 1-1. Brian King has carried a lot of water for the Astros here this month. This is his 101st batter he has faced this month. Appearing in his 10th game in the month of May, and we still have another week left on the calendar for this month. That ball skied foul, and King a strike away from closing this one out. It's 2-2 on Michael Busch. Already has thrown more pitches today than he did getting 4 outs yesterday. Into left field, Bryce Matthews makes the catch, ball game over. Brian King saves in back-to-back days. The Astros have won 2 games here at Wrigley. They've taken the series and extended the Cubs' losing streak to 7 games. That was the Christian Walker and Brian King show at the end.
Yeah, it all got started with Kaiwei Tang going out there and giving the Astros 6 shutty, keeping those zeros up there and allowing those 2 big hits from Christian Walker to play out the rest of the way. And this bullpen continues to answer the bell here in the month of May. The Astros pick up another win. Good timing, though, playing a Cubs team that's reeling a little bit right now.
Cubs 0-5 on the homestand, and now 7 in a row they've lost, also dropping 11 out of 13. The Astros now a 3-2 road trip going as they win back-to-back games here at Wrigley. Astros postgame show presented by Whataburger will feature Julia Morales gathering interviews in the Astros clubhouse. Kevin Aschenfelder and Brian Bogusevic are your hosts today. Postgame show is next.